1. All right. Oh, yeah. I don't know if anybody's gonna watch this or not. I don't really do live streams, and I doubt anybody's actually got notifications turned on for this. But, yeah. So what I just wanted to kind of go through some market stuff for a few of the games that I'm following, and like Gundam and Lorcana and Riftbound and One Piece and all that, and kind of just ramble and talk about what I've been seeing and kind of what I'm looking at, what I'm purchasing, and why. Caveat: all of this is like, I'm not buying anything to like with the plans of it going up, in 50% in a month and selling it. My expectation is that like I'm buying stuff that I feel like are they either have potential to go up over the next year or two, or longer, obviously, or they are kind of like underrated products that are at sort of like they're probably going to be their all-time low. I'm not going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect at like timing the stuff. Nobody's trying to be perfect at timing it. You're just trying to get as close as possible. And there's some stuff that I see that I'm like, okay, well, like based on the value inside the product and the current price and the sell-through rate and the quantity limit, listed, and the opportunity for a reprint, blah blah blah. You've got to like factor all this stuff in. And you look at it and you go, okay, there's really probably not like that much stuff that is truly gonna go down any further, right? So that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm trying to find. And I just thought, maybe you guys want to just hang out and watch this with me. So Gundam is a game that I really have been paying a lot of attention to more and more lately, especially with like the success of One Piece, and One Piece keeps doing so well. One of the main criticisms Bandai had for many years was abandoning their products and abandoning their IPs, abandoning their card games in particular over the last couple decades, I guess. So one of the big criticisms for One Piece was, oh, people didn't want to carry it. Like even Rudy and stuff is infamous for talking about this, but like they were hesitant to carry this product because they thought that, hey, there's very like low likelihood that this game will survive 5 years before it gets dumpstered by Bandai. And however, I think everybody can probably argue like One Piece has just become quite the sensation. I mean, it's already performing in regards to some of the Japanese market share in a very strong way. It's obviously extremely strong in North America. North America for sure. Around I don't know if it's a top 5 game, maybe. You've got obviously Magic and Pokemon take up the top 2 and all of that, and I think there's probably some arguments for what takes up 3, 4, 5. But even if you just look at like TCG players top line here, we've got Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, Disney Lorcana, One Piece, Digimon, Star Wars Unlimited, Flesh and Blood. And like 2 of these games right here, Star Wars Unlimited and Flesh and Blood, are basically dead and dying games, right? There's very, very low player base, very low collector base, like just not much attention to them. Digimon's kind of a little bit more obscure, but then like we get stuck with like One Piece. Disney Lorcana is a tiny game as well, very low like popular, like very low player base and collector base, and this is relative to the other bigger ones, right? And Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic kind of make them up. So I think One Piece is definitely One Piece is way stronger in terms of like players and collectors and market spend than Lorcana. And a TCG mainline title here doesn't mean anything other than I'm not trying to say like this means anything, because you can advertise to pay for these slots and stuff. My point is just that they're up there, they're known, they're popular, so there's definitely some argument there. All right, so anyway, back to Gundam. The fact that like One Piece has done as well as it has. Hey, what's going on? Beta card. Oh, nice. I'll have to check. Get the dogs. Welcome. Thanks for being here. I'm just kind of like starting off with like kind of my explanation for why I'm interested in Gundam and why, you know, why I got into it. But when Bandai had proved that they were going to continue to kind of support and bolster and grow One Piece, they've also made some amazing decisions with how they're doing their print run allocations, the chase rarities in each of the hits, you know, continuing like they're playing to their audience with some of the cards that they're designing. The card quality is fantastic, the art design is fantastic. Like if you're a true fan of One Piece, like that TCG it's great. It's really, really great. The characters come out like in their playstyle and their decks, their build, their art, everything. And I'm seeing the same thing in Gundam. So because like now we've got faith that they're not going to probably abandon One Piece, well now Bandai comes out with Gundam, and the Gundam CCG, like Bandai owns the IP. So there's not nearly as much risk for them to run this card game as there is with One Piece. And so that's a huge benefit for why you would expect Bandai to support Gundam long term. Now for me, I don't want to put any money of my own in product or singles or slabs or sealed if I don't think the game is going to even last like 5 or 6 years. And there's some games out there, I'm not gonna name them all because like it's disrespectful to, like, I don't want to put that ill will out there on them, but there are definitely some games out there that I don't expect to make it 5 years because the market will get saturated eventually. There's not an unlimited money supply. There seems to be a lot of money. Anyway, Gundam looks amazing. The same things that One Piece are doing, they're doing. They're not overprinting everything to the moon. Shout out to like a non-TCG. He talks about this all the time, that he speaks to somebody high up in the Gundam hierarchy, and they have said that they want it to be collectible. They want the boxes to have value. They want the cards to have value. They're like, while they're also still fostering that player tournament spirit, they want these cards to keep growing in value. So I find that like that's compelling to somebody who wants to like be in this long term. Like they understand what they're doing. Also, they're doing a lot of the same kind of like chase rarity styles of One Piece, the card art quality of One Piece. And I mean, I think a lot of these cards are absolutely fantastic. I've been collecting and growing like my LR pluses, my U pluses and stuff for my own personal collection. I don't have an LR plus yet. I am trying to get one, but just like when they come out of the gate at like $1,000, it's just hard to justify for me right now to just throw it into a card. I'd rather just buy, honestly, I'd rather just buy a case of Gundam for like $1,000 than a card right now. So I don't really know the Japanese beta cards. Beta is I don't even have beta listed on this set because I pulled it off. I pulled it off intentionally because honestly I felt like beta cards are a little bit I felt like beta cards, the higher end stuff, is a little bit out of reach for most normal human beings. So I didn't even have it in my list of sets here. But I did something quite fun, and maybe y'all will find this interesting as well. I guess booster box is probably more like 6,000. This is probably more like 6,000. I don't know. Maybe that's not fair. Maybe let's just say 5. Let's split the middle. There's like boxes listed for 5. Okay, so I made this chart for Gundam, and what this chart shows you is it's going to show you the current booster box price. All right, Phantom Mario, let's call it 95 now. It's going to show you the current booster box price with and the booster box case price. Then I've got the, can y'all see this well? By the way, if I need to, I can try to make it a little bigger, but and then what I have here are the top 9 cards from each set current like market price. Some of them, if like they had an obscure market price, I would go through like the most recent sold pricing listings, right? Japanese Gundam packs are undervalued as hell. I would definitely start collecting Japanese on how cheap they are. Oh, okay, you're talking about John Prodigy Knight. Yeah, so you're talking about just the in general the Japanese packs, not for beta, but just all of them. Yeah, I've seen boxes, you know, boxes are ranging, you know, there's smaller boxes and things. I don't know how the pack distribution is. Do you know, like, sometimes the Japanese boxes have like different quantity of cards per pack and lower packs. I'm not sure. I'd have to do a little bit of research on that. I'm not really of a huge Japanese collector myself. I'm more of an English language collector on all the products. But all right, so back to this. This is the box price. This is the booster case price. And then this is essentially the top 9 cards. And then you have the total. This is the total top 10 value of those cards, and then this is the average top 10 value. And then the difference of box price is essentially like negative means that your average pull inside the boxes is essentially less than the box price. So that's kind of a negative sign, right? So this means that there's a huge sealed box premium, right? That makes sense for a beta product or a first, you know, an alpha product or first edition product. Nothing surprising there. Where it gets more interesting is when we move out of beta. So beta is like less my focus, and the other 5 sets are my current focus. And I think Freedom Ascension, I don't do pre-order prices. I'll update this one when we have like maybe after like 3 or 4 weeks of the product release, when we see the market settle some, it'll be a little bit more clear where these things land. But so let's look at these. All right, so we go through New Type Rising. Currently a $400 booster box, right? A case, whatever. It's around $4,650, $5,000, give or take a couple bucks there. All right. So obviously the first 2 cards are going to be the LR pluses. The only situation where that's not the case is going to be Eternal Nexus, because there's only one LR plus plus. So the LR plus pluses right here, these are the 2 tops and what their current markets are. So New Type Rising's LR plus pluses are bangers. They're doing great. 2,500 and 1,350. Then you get into mostly LR pluses. Sometimes there's a U plus, you know, that will pop in there, right? Especially for New Type Rising. So if we go in here, we're looking at, again, a $4,950 top 9 card value, that's really strong. That is actually really strong for a game. $5,000 of top 10 card value for a box that's only $400. So the average is $495. So this box is, in my opinion, this is just the way I kind of like value things. In my opinion, this should easily be a $500 box, where it kind of starts to meet the average value. So 2 things could happen. Box prices could go up, which is typically what does happen as supply keeps dwindling. You know, every month that goes by, probably, you know, 10, 20, 30 boxes are sold, right? And that supply, there's only so much that exists in the market. Now, as price goes up, people will take profits and they will list some new product onto the markets, right, and try to encycle it. So it's not like a direct relationship between like, oh, there's 100 on the market. If I got 5 a day, it's going to sell in 20 days kind of thing. It's not exactly like that, but it's a good judge of like how quickly the sell-through rate will kind of impact the price. And then so for me, this is just my evaluation. Okay. So I look at this and I say, okay, well, that's probably underpriced. It probably should be selling for closer to, you know, $500. Now, is that a great deal? I mean, that's a 20% gain if you go from 400 to 500. So if you bought 10 boxes here at 400, right, and you get a 20% little gain, it's not bad, but it's 20%, right? Nothing too crazy. You know, who knows? Maybe 5-10 years from now, this is $1,000 box. Who knows? All right, and then the case price to single box ratio difference here, $150. So, you know, there's not much of a case premium on any of these. Where it gets interesting is on Dual Impact and Phantom Mario, is where I see the most potential in Dual Impact and Phantom Mario. And let me break it down for you. All right, so again, top 9 cards is the key indicator here. If you can get a case, I mean, cases for Phantom Mario were $1,100-$1,200 like 3 weeks ago. Now they're up to closer to $1,400, and I've even seen some sellers selling, you know, individual loose boxes for like $90 that had like 12, 15 on the market. So there's probably a chance that you probably get order of all 12 of them and been like, hey, is that a sealed case or not? I don't know. You get what I'm saying, speculating there. All right, so let's get back. Dual Impact, $1,250, $500. This is legit. Like this LR plus, it's gonna move up more than this. You know, this is probably closer to $750. So this would probably increase that a little bit. In fact, we can go look right quick. Let's look at Dual Impacts, LR pluses, just real quick, because that's probably changed since I did this chart. It's gonna be those 2 right there. All right, let's see. 525 lightly played, 650 near mint. Let's see what the last sales were, guys. 500. Okay, I see why I chose 500. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stick with 500 until we've seen sales above that. Even though the lowest listed for near mint is 650. The fact that we haven't seen any sold for that, I can't like comfortably say that that's what the value is. So we'll go ahead and stick with 500. So I am happy with this chart. All right, so $2,222. That's pretty solid, right? That is legit pretty solid. Okay, for a box that's $125, right? Our average value of the boxes is $222. Again, this is my case hits math, right? Surprisingly, 24 packs per box, same as English. Only difference is box is smaller, just like those Japanese Pokemon. Do they still have the same number of cards inside the packs, though, John? And then Dual Impact is underrated gem. I agree. I think Dual Impact and Phantom Aria are underrated gems, and I'll get to both. But all right, so the average box value, or not box value, the average. This should be top 9 card value. It's gonna be $222. This box is selling for $125. I genuinely feel like this box should be closer to $225, something in that range. And then the same thing for Phantom Mario. Like, again, the numbers are about the same. The number one LR plus in Phantom Mario is 1,000. Second one's about 575, and then you get those LR pluses, U pluses that kind of drag it out. Then it sets up 223. However, this box is only 95. Why? Because it's newer. Dual Impact has simply had more time to get absorbed by the market, less quantity available, and therefore the price has gone up. At the very least, Phantom Aria should be a $150 box, like really relatively quick here. I would hope. But the fact is, like, I see a tremendous difference in the valuations and the box price, and I think eventually this is like my number one play. This is the one that I'm buying cases of if I can't. I've only got one, but this is the one that I'm trying to buy more. I'm buying single boxes. Anytime I see them like $90, I just grab one up like every week. I do think Phantom Aria is the strongest percentage potential gain right now. However, Freedom Ascension is probably going to blow it all out of the water when it comes out. I think Freedom Ascension with the Link Rares and the 5 LR pluses, and the pilots, the foiled pilots. I think Freedom Ascension is going to change this entire chart on its head and completely rewrite the wheel here. But yeah, Phantom Mario is like my number one right now. Dual Impact would be my number two. And Steel Requiem's okay. Steel Requiem is balanced. So same thing, go through top 10. We're at $1,818, $181. We're at $105. There's still plenty of room for the upside, in my opinion, for Steel Requiem as well. But if I only had limited funds, I would just stick with I'd probably start with Phantom Aria. Again, we need more time. The supply will go out. Dual Impact's already probably passed. Now let's look at some charts, like to show you kind of like the idea of what I'm talking about here. So if I go to Dual Impact here, let's check it out. So Dual Impact, let's go to the booster boxes, and like this one's been out for a year, right? And almost all TCGs, quite honestly, almost all charts of TCGs kind of look like this when they first get released. The only things that disrupt this sort of charting pattern for TCGs is legit when companies like reprint or the game literally dies, right? So this has been out for about a year. What is it? It's almost like August. It's really close. It's getting there. So October, whatever. It'll be a year soon enough. But you see how like you have that massive pre-order price. A few people sell it because they're just excited. They want to be first to the market, right? They want to get their cool cards and build their decks, get them slapped, whatever they're doing. Players, collectors, I don't know what they're doing. All right, then the product's released and you get a ton of sales. 4,800 boxes sold in 1 year. Stellar, really, really good. And I see that with like a lot of different things. So then I go over here and like look at the lows, right? The lows are $80 to $90, $80 to $90 is the lows, and then we slowly, you can see what happens. Like, right, demand starts to fall off right there. The volume at the bottom, the bars of the volume, they do start to fall off. I'm trying to get y'all a graph that you can see easily. Demand will start to fall off. The problem is that the supply is falling off faster, and because of that, the price is increasing. So almost everything goes through this. So if I go over here and I go back over here to Phantom Aria, right, which hasn't had that much history yet, because of that, we haven't got to that part in the chart. So we are still kind of what I genuinely believe that just like the last set that we looked at, we are $80 to $90 was the bottom. I firmly believe that. We've already got 4,600 sold. We got 4,600 sold, guys, in like what? How many months? November, December, January, February, so like 6 months less sale through rate. We've already got the same basically amount sold. So these pretty much all hit like 4,800 to 5,000 boxes sold per set, and then they kind of hang out. I mean, even the 1 month average is still 27 boxes on average per day. That's really strong sell through rate for a set. You got to remember, everybody knows Freedom Ascension's coming out. We just had EBO1 release, and we're still getting Phantom Aria sales. So that's really strong information. you get my point. So I think that we have bottomed. I don't see these boxes getting any lower than $90. Like unless the company reprints them and just dumps a million boxes on the market or something, I don't see this coming down. So this is like, that's why that one right now is my number one play, is Phantom Mario. And it's the set that I have the most of, so I like that one. Eternal Nexus is like my second highest owned set. Unfortunately, I thought this was gonna do a lot better than it did, but it really flopped. And like the data shows it. I could probably pull these numbers up now, and they're probably lower than they were now. But look at this, like Eternal Nexus EVO1 booster boxes are going for about 130 bucks right now. Like I don't know, it's probably like $1,600 to $1,800 for a case. There's only the one LR plus. The one LR plus is what really hurts the overall value. But even then, look at the LR values comparatively to these other ones. Like there's no LR pluses that look like they're even getting close to being the $100+ range. Now this could be a screaming opportunity. I don't know though. I'd be using caution there. But if these LR pluses start getting down to like the 20s and the teens, it might not be a bad idea to pick up 2 or 3 of them, or 4 or 5 of them each. Get the best centered, best looking ones that you've got. Go get them graded and try to get some 10s. And then you will probably be like the first to market with 10s, because this product is not selling very well at all. Now I think over time, I don't know, it most likely will come back. But if I'm just looking at it for just the information that I have right now, is one of the like worst performing first month Gundam sets that has ever existed. It only has 749 sold. It just released. I mean, but it's like its first couple days sell through rate is really low. Average daily sold is only like what, 23 in the month. That's better. I mean, it's not doing great for. This is a brand new product too, right? Like this isn't a 6-month-old product. This is a brand new product. I think the chibi style fell flat. I think the collaboration with the SD Gundam G Generation Eternal just didn't have as big of an impact as they thought it would. I think the Battle Royale 4-player mode is just not, doesn't have any traction yet. So I don't know what to think about this thing. Maybe in the future, this becomes something where time like heals all wounds and people forget about why they didn't like it, and they just look at it and they're like, hey, like I want some of the chase cards from this, or they want to rip it, or it's cheap. And I don't know what the catalyst would be to bring this box up yet, other than simply the fact that they're, I listen to people again like Rudy and a non-TCG, and those guys talk because they have better distro information than I do. But when they talk about like the allocation was like 25% or whatever of a normal set, well then that means that we don't need to sell 5,000 boxes, right? If it's only 25% of a normal set, then we probably only need to sell 2,000 boxes to have a pretty significant supply deficit that would cause the price to go up. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. All eyes right now, quite honestly, I think all eyes are pretty much on Freedom Ascension at this point. Because Freedom Ascension is going to be a really good product. We got the bans and restrictions changing to shape up the meta. We've got really strong artwork. We've got really strong Gundam in it. We've got, again, the multiple 5 LR pluses, which is unprecedented. The new Link Rare Rarity, which that card looks amazing too. And then the new Pilot full arts with their Gundams behind them. Like there's a lot of really cool reasons to get in here and wait for Freedom Ascension. So that's the one okay. So speaking of Freedom Ascension though, we do need to talk about like what is a good price point and what do we expect the price point to be. Now, when these first started up here, like people were kind of freaking out because they were like, 300, 250, 300. And people were like, oh my gosh, this is going to be crazy. I think we all knew, again, all TCGs kind of follow that same arc, right? They all follow that same sort of like, drop off and then rebuild for the most part. There's always an exception. I'm not saying every single one, but like, I think we can expect this. My price target, I will probably start buying Freedom Ascension. I will probably start purchasing Freedom Ascension around 160 is my target. My expectation is that they probably drop to 150. And what will happen is you know, once all the stores get their distro allocations, I mean, the fact that you can sell something on the day of release that you're buying for whatever, like, what is it, 70 bucks or 80 bucks from distro, and you can instantly go and sell it for 150 and almost double your money versus, you know, it historically all these all these Gundam boxes have dropped down to like 80 or 90 and you're breaking even. So I'm guessing a lot of stores that have been carrying Gundam are going to like just flash sale this as fast as they can. We're going to see it tons. Right now the listings are 312. I bet this gets up pretty high. We see all these things get listed in here. I think we're going to see a lot of sales too, but that's going to be like a race to the bottom scenario. And I think that eventually we're going to find equilibrium, and I think it'll be around 160. That's my, or 150, 160. That's my prediction. Could be completely dead wrong. This could be the low. We never see it go below 185 again. I just don't think so. I think we're going to see more downward pressure as stores try to, like, you know, reap some rewards for carrying the game for as long as they did, especially like the stores that don't really have a lot of organized play and a lot of in-store interest. Like, they're going to want to dump the product for a profit if they can. Let's say, John, they could have made the chibi characters in Eternal Nexus way more vibrant. Another thing I want to point out is how undervalued the promos and tournament participation cards are. I got some, one card, one per pack. Yeah, yeah, participation, store champ type stuff is definitely something to keep track of as well. I had another tab. I think I screwed it up. I had another tab full of cards. Let's see here. Yeah. So, could add the promos on here, promotional cards. I'm avoiding beta because, you know, they're most often like not really affordable, and I'm avoiding Freedom Ascension just because pre-orders don't mean crap to me. Okay, promotional resources, promotional tax. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are aware of like the big hitters on the regional stuff and like all the store challenge stuff. It's like, where do you find value though, John? I guess that's kind of the hard question when you're buying these. You know, there's so few listed, there's so few that are selling, and what are you gonna aim for? Are you thinking that if you buy one of these for $1,000 and you hold it for, you know, 3 or 4 years, that it's gonna become like a $10,000 card or something? Like, because normally when you're taking that kind of a risk with that kind of a purchase price, you want more than like a double, right? You're looking for a pretty big pop. But they are absolutely stunning cards. I think Gundam, like, if you're some dude who doesn't, you know, I mean, most dudes probably like big powerful machines, you know, going to war and shooting giant lasers and guns and, you know, blades and everything like that, like, you know, combat, like space combat and stuff. Like, it's pretty badass stuff. So I think all these cards have pretty awesome artwork. I mean, just like looking at the chibi, like, it just stands out as, I don't want to be a hater, man. I'm kind of disappointed in the total art style of the set of EBO1. I don't understand it at all. If they had just done EBO1 with two LR pluses and the non-chibi style, I think that alone would have made the set like twice as appealing to me as it is right now. Like, I don't want to sell my boxes or like dump it, because I do think that long term it's probably gonna be okay. Like, but it's gonna be really long term, you know. But it's not even a product I want to open, if that makes sense, you know. Whereas like if I had like a case of Phantomaria or, you know, Steel Requiem or something, even like if I didn't have a high hopes of hitting a chase, like it would still be like a fun opening experience. And I don't know, I just don't get that with the chibis. But anyway, enough being a hater on that set. Yeah, I've never seen this card, Amore, regional championship card. Is this like one of the first ones that ever came out? Does anybody know? I mean, that's awesome though. Does anybody know the story behind the regional championship Amore? I'm trying to see if there's any like date on it. How long has it been around? So February of 2026. When did this card get released? Am I missing it? I feel like it's one of those things where it's like right in front of my face, but I can't find it. ST01010. I mean, that looks pretty awesome. That's a pretty cool card. You'd have to do eBay. These kind of cards, by the way, if you are trying to price out these more rare and obscure. Well, this one's actually got some sales, so this is it's gonna be completely contrary to what I was gonna say. But what I was gonna say is like a lot of these, your best bet is actually to go onto like 130 point or eBay and look at sold pricings and see exactly what they're selling for. But this one actually has some sales. I mean, this is an amazing card too. I mean, Freedom Gundam's my favorite Gundam, but yeah, 2500 bones, man. It's got sales all the way up to like yesterday, 77, 74. I mean, that's a lot of sales for an expensive, valuable card. There's definitely some collectors and some high rollers in this TCG, that's for sure. I would imagine that this getting a PSA 10 or whatever is probably like easy a $5,000 or $6,000 card if I had to guess. So that's a really nice, badass card. Where are you seeing value though, John? And you were saying like looking at the cards. I tend to have my strategy for looking for value. Doesn't mean that it's perfect, but what I kind of do is when I'm going through primarily looking for like LR pluses. I just picked up this Graceful Demeanor, by the way. This is actually a really cool card. I just like the art style. There's literally the only reason I thought the unique like pencil style art was cool. The foiling doesn't pop as much, but it's just on a downward trend. So obviously I'm the only one that likes this card, I guess. But I thought that was pretty cool. But I told you it's a midnight ramble. I'm tired, guys. So what I look for is like interesting things like this, right? So First Contact SP U plus for $74. Okay. And then, not that I care about this character, but what I look for here is I'm looking at the chart to see what it's been doing, right? So it started out pretty strong, and it's at 73 now. So technically on the chart, it'd be like way up here, it'd be doing like one of these things right here. This is what the chart should be saying right here. It should be going like that. Because right now we're like way up here for the price point. But anyway, what's the sales? Yeah, there's one sold at 75 and 60. So this chart will definitely adjust. So here's what I'm looking for. I think the best pickup was probably this 35 on the 10th, right? 38th, somewhere in there, because there's only 13 listed total. So there's 8 listings, so 13 combined total. And yeah, it's really easy to get a product to jump really high when nobody's opening it. Right, if nobody's opening the product because it's too expensive, or it's just they're not opening it, and then there's very few listed on the market, that's like the catalyst for the price jumps to like exponentially go up. So when I go through here, I am looking for LR pluses that are in a fair market value, that are in a trending upward movement. This one's historically was $71. You can get it for now for 61. Yeah, that's probably like, that was like the pre-sale high, right? So then we look at the last 3 months and we've definitely got, 25 of them sold. It must have been like a meta shift or something. But yeah, I look for something like that. And I look for the like lower quantities. Because some of these will have like 60 listings and 70 listings, and that's a little high for me to kind of jump into. Man, what a cool color. What a cool card. And I'm also like a nerd, so I just buy random cards sometimes because I want to see them in person. I want to see them in my binder or something. There was one that was a good example of this. Where is it? I don't remember what the name of it was. I think this was it right here. Freedom Gundam. Yes, this was it. Okay. 23 listings now. This card got pretty high for a second there. Look at the 1 month chart. 32 current quantity. People are definitely dumping this one onto the market now that it's worth more. This card was like $40. I think I bought some at like 30. Yeah, I remember buying this card for pretty cheap, honestly. I think I got them. I bought 2 on one day, so one of these is probably me. This may have been me right here at $28.75 for 2. I think that was me. Anyway, the point is just that like this card is running up, and there's not a ton of quantity available. Still 32, but it's like 3 month chart is ridiculous. So you're trying to find, again, cards that have a low quantity available, that are probably the prices as low as I do. That's what I do. For what it's worth, I can see these tournament cards doing good solely for the art and characters of preparing. For the example, Unicorn Gundam tournament card is really sick. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, I agree what you're saying. To do that though, John, I think we need, I think we're gonna need a lot more just people involved with the Gundam game to really get to that point. And so that'll mean like, because like sometimes players become collectors, players become investors, right? Sometimes collectors come into a game simply because they like the art or the style, or they like the rareness of chasing a hard hit, right? Whatever reason they might come in, they might just collect it. And there might be Gundam fans who didn't even know, they just want to buy the cards because they look cool and they want to get them graded, right? So what we need are just that whole ecosystem to continue to grow, and then with the limited supply of things, you know, that's where we're going to end up, is in a really good spot in terms of value, right? We'll see what happens. Wild graph select one time. What's going on? Welcome. Yeah, it is a wild graph. If you guys don't mind, subscribe. This is a bit of a ramble. It's like 1 a.m. and I can't sleep. I'm not feeling great, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go look at the TCG markets. And if everybody here like enjoys Gundam, we can just talk about Gundam all night. I don't care. I was gonna talk about Lorcana, Gundam, One Piece, you know, all sorts of different stuff. But yeah. But so going back to this, kind of circling back to what we talked about in the first place, I don't think Phantom Mario should be under. I don't think Phantom Mario should be under $175 a box. That's my opinion, just strictly based on the value of the singles. The value of the singles it's just stupid that this box is $90. And the cases just like 2 weeks ago were $1,100-$1,200. So you're gonna see, I think you're gonna see this box price rise up very quickly as more and more people can kind of like get their fix of Freedom Ascension, and then they look back and they see that these things are undervalued. And then second place right here is Dual Impact. In fact, let me go look at my inventory real quick. Yeah, Lorcana is nuts, bro. Like I've been covering, my videos have covered Lorcana and One Piece and Gundam. I've even covered like Magic the Gathering and Riftbound and a game called Warlord and Flesh and Blood. But like what happens is like I just kind of stick with the games that get like actual attention and views, and then the games that don't, I just like I just do the market analysis myself and just don't make videos from it. Let me go check real quick my Dual Impact and my Steel Requiem inventory, because I think I'm low on both. Oh yeah, boys, I'm cooked. I am cooked. I missed the boat on Dual Impact. I don't know what I was thinking. I only got 2 boxes. I thought I had more than that. Jesus, I didn't even buy a case or nothing. Anyway, that's bad. I mean, it's not like missed, but I still think that Dual Impact and Phantom Mario both have potential to I think pretty easily get to 175. Just based on the average top 10 values are just absurd. Unless the market crashes for the singles and the singles drop significantly, which I don't think is going to happen. Anyway, and Steel Requiem is fine. Steel Requiem is okay, but it's not I don't think it's a bad play to pick up some more Steel Requiem if you like already have plenty of Phantom and Dual. But just looking at the numbers like of the value that's inside the product, and obviously the value kind of dictates demand for the product. I would say Phantom Mario number 1, Dual Impact number 2 for me, and then probably Steel Requiem number 3. Actually, my number 3 is Freedom Ascension. I'm pretty excited to pick up some Freedom Ascension when it gets to like 150, 160 a box, and I'll just start buying a box or two here and there, and then slowly kind of build up a beautiful display. I don't know about you guys, but I have like a rack with like all my sealed, at least not the cases. Obviously, the cases are boring; they're just cardboard boxes, but I really like looking at the artwork. I do everything, man. Like Magic, the Gathering collector's boxes, Lorcana, Riftbound, Sorcery, Warlord, Flesh and Blood. What else I got over there? One Piece. Yeah. It's hard to keep up with the amount of TCGs that are being released right now. That's my biggest issue, is the fact that like there are just so many damn TCGs being released. If you guys, and I did the same thing by the way with Lorcana a while back. Where I went through and I set up the top. This is only 9 cards. I screwed up. This is only 9 cards, not 10. But anyway, I went through and looked at the values. So we can compare like real quick. Select comparing Gundam to One Piece here for the same type of analysis that I did, right? Look at the box values, okay? And I want you guys to think about this and what might happen to Gundam. All right, top 10 values. top 9 values, there are like, look at these right here. And this includes like this isn't the 4 newest sets. The 4 newest sets have iconics and such in them that have made them absolutely absurd. But I want you to look at these. So and some of these are like more like 120 now, 115. But like this box, Shimmering Skies, for instance, is an $1,800 box, okay? But its total top 10 value is $1,775. All right, and we go back over to the Gundam, right? And we have Gundam, like Dual Impact, Steel Requiem, Phantom Aria, and New Type Rising are all above that top value. Yet this is a $180 box, $200 box, like any given day. So I just feel like I feel like if freaking Disney Lorcana can do it with like an extra year of time in the TCG space, I would have to believe that Gundam internationally, it's not like Disney level. I'm not trying to compare Gundam to Disney, but Gundam has been out since what, 1979, right? We got Amuro Ray, right, with Gundam right there since 1979, and it's got a massive history internationally, right, through the anime, the Asian markets and such. So I would imagine that you give Gundam another year or two to get, to get another, 8 products out there, and this older stuff, the first 5-6 sets, I think we're going to see some booms, and they're going to continue to advance and improve. But they've got One Piece's, they've got the experience from One Piece that is going to like already push them out. Arcadia Island still under MS2, which is wild. Yeah, we can look real quick. I mean, again, we're just here shooting the S with each other. We can check it out, man. Let's go product type sealed. I've got a case of, what do I have a case of? I have a case of Arcasia's Island. I have a case of Reign of, dude, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Reign of Jafar. I'm gonna tell you, I think Reign of Jafar is the #1 most slept on set in the entire Lorcana space. I'll show you guys why in a little bit. But anyway, we'll be looking at Arcasia's Island, MSRP. Yeah, look at that, dude. So a case of this is 4 boxes. Gundam's 12 boxes. There's a little bit of different spend when you buy a case of Gundam, right? So Arcasia's Island for Lorcana is $484 a case of 4. All right, so we're like 125. Let's just call it 125 bucks a box. And MSRP I think is 145 for Lorcana. Is that correct? And then let's see here. Ursula's Return. I think Ursula's Return is a bad product. I would not. Okay, bad is relative. Like, I think it can still go up in value. Obviously, it has. I'm not trying to say it can't go up in value. I just mean, like, if I'm gonna put my money into something, I think there's other better, like, enchanteds. There's better art that you could put your money into in the same product, right? So real quick, check this out. Let's go to the single boxes and check this out real quick. Yeah, Attack of the Vine has come down. That's good to see. I pre-ordered 2 boxes of Attack of the Vine from a local store for $144 each. So basically MSRP. It's awesome. So I got those already. I think this box will probably get down to like the 150, 160 range eventually. But it's got such a crazy hype cycle right now. Like, I don't know what's gonna stop it. Everybody wants that stupid thing. Where the hell did my tab go? All right, was this it? There it is. Okay. Yeah, Winter Spells up to 200. That's, I mean, all the iconic boxes have boosted. Whispers in the Well for 175 is probably not terrible for the iconic value. All right, anyway, real quick, I'm gonna show you this. Check out Reign of Jafar. If we go to, what's the best way to demo what I want to show you? Let's do this. Let's go ECG player, Disney Lorcana. Let's go cards, and then rarity enchanteds. All right, check this out. So we're priced high to low. Reign of Jafar is a hidden gem. Get the dogs, dude. John, I'm telling y'all, and I don't sell crap anyway, but like, I have a couple cases of Reign of Jafar and I still want to pick up more. Like, that's how much I believe in this thing. But look at this. Okay, if we go through here, we look at the enchanteds. All right, Fabled, first chapter, Winter Spell, Whispers in the Well, Winter Spell, Fabled, Wilds Unknown, Fabled, Whispers in the Well, Fabled, Fabled, Fabled. All right, Shimmering Skies. You notice that like all these top ones are like, they're strong. They're strong. If you go into Reign of Jafar and you start looking, look at the enchanteds though. Like, compare the enchanted characters, right? Like Goofy and his kids, like nobody. Come on, man. Ain't nobody. Oh, that's the Attack of the Vine. Ignore Attack of the Vine. Now I gotta take Attack of the Vine off. Let's ignore the first 4 sets because they're just too damn expensive. Deal? Can we agree with that? They're too expensive. Nobody wants to spend $250 a box right now. $500 a box. Let's do boom, boom, boom. Shimmering Skies, first chapter, Rise of the Bloodborne. Bam. Okay, we got them all, right? 1, 2, 3. Yes. Okay, so we got all of them. Look what we've got here. Okay, Mufasa, badass card. Elsa, badass card. You can't fight those. But look at this guy right here. Reign of Jafar, means no worries. All the characters from The Lion King, absolutely goated card. Probably, honestly, one of the best enchanted if we're being honest with ourselves. But anyway, I'm biased, okay? Now, remember, Elsa, #1 top card. First dog, first chapter, beautiful card, nice. Okay, we got first chapter, Mickey Mouse. First chapter, obviously very expensive. Like, okay, look, next. Reign of Jafar, again, with Stitch, another iconic character that everybody chases. Oh, what's this you see? Oh, another Reign of Jafar enchanted. Into the Unknown with freaking Elsa right there on the cover again. Yeah, we just keep going. Like, that's crazy. All right, so, and I mean, these are good characters. Lion King, Stitch, Elsa, give me a break. All right, Rise of the Bloodborne, beautiful Cinderella. This was the older style though, like where it looked, honestly, these kind of looked a little bit like legendaries, so it's kind of another Stitch, Carefree Surfer, right? I think, you know, Stitch, it's fine. Keep going. Arcasia's Island with the kids. First chapter, another Simba. Can't argue with Mufasa and Simba, I guess. And then we got Bambi. Probably not the most, like, probably people don't care as much about Bambi, but still, Reign of Jafar. Look, another, like, how many Reign of Jafars do you have in like the top 20 cards of all these freaking sets? Oh, let's keep going. Look, there's Jasmine, another absolutely iconic character in Enchanted. Jasmine, rocking the front page. We go over here, Rapunzel, Reign of Jafar, rocking the front page. I mean, dude. Lady, Decisive Dog. Nobody's really probably a huge Lady and the Tramp fan here, but still, rocking the front page of Enchanted values. Dude, how is Reign of Jafar, how is it so cheap? Like, it doesn't even make sense. I don't know, like, did the players just absolutely hate this set when it was released? Like, why does this get such a bad rep when it literally has like tangible value in the freaking boxes, even if it's hard to pull? So I don't know, maybe they overprinted it too much. I don't have an answer for you. Not a ton of cases selling. Let's see what the last sold here. We got 600. I think these got up to 700 for one point, maybe not. I thought they got up to 700. Yeah, they were. So like, oh wow, $800, 750, 750, 750. So they have potential to go back up to that. Now we're in that, you know, summer slowdown or whatever it is, summer sleepy beauty lull. Will these come right back up? Well, there's not that many listings. Like, it's not going to take a lot to get back to 700. There's only needs to be what, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 cases, 7 or so cases sell, and we're back up to 700. Then we go to the single box, right? Single box is back down to 135. It got up to like 175, and now it's back down to 135. I mean, I think that legit, I might have to. There's too many freaking games out right now because I want to buy Attack of the Vine. I want to buy The Hobbit from Magic the Gathering. I want to buy freaking Freedom Ascension, like a lot of that. I just bought a case of One Piece. I want to get even more One Piece, Time of Battle, and I want to get the next set. Next OP17 looks absolutely amazing. Like is there any game then you've got even like Riftbound is dropping Vendetta and the T1 freaking promo set coming out. Is there any like TCG that's not dropping an absolute freaking banger of a product? You got Pokemon dropping Pokemon 30th anniversary. Like, I don't even know where actually to go with my spend because I don't have unlimited spend, and I've got like 7 TCGs, all of which dropping absolutely banger products that I want to get a box of. So where do we go from here, guys? Like, I'm open to your interpretation of what we should do, where we should put our money, what should be priority number one. I actually like pulled out my Notepad++ and was like writing out, you know, where do we, like, what cards do we, you know, what sets do we invest in? I will say, like, from what I have seen, Disney Lorcana had the biggest like spike up where everything like doubled. in 2 or 3 weeks or a month or so, right? Everything doubled, and now it's kind of come back down and it's settling like 25-30% lower than the spikes. So I feel like Lorcana was probably the most susceptible to a drop off, but has like absolutely untapped potential. Like, what happens if a lot of the Pokemon rip and shipper type people come into this space and they don't even care what box prices are because they know they can sell them to their audience for like, you know, 50% profit, or they can turn them into, you know, mystery packs or something crazy. I feel like there's, oh yeah, I forgot about Naruto too, man, dude. Oh my gosh, that's true. I totally forgot about the Naruto TCG too. Like, what are we doing here? TCG, like, we are in like just the craziest TCG market ever. It is insane, and every time I look up, it's like I don't know where to put my money. I need more. I need to go get more income, right, to buy all this stuff, because this is crazy. Like, I don't know one. Like, I do know a couple TCGs that have bad products that like always collapse in value, but like, you know, let's not call them out. But man, there is a lot of like just potential out there. I've been buying, yeah, so I've been buying pretty regularly, like play boosters from Magic, Gundam boxes, One Piece boxes, Lorcana boxes. I'm not really buying a lot of Riftbound right now. I'm kind of like wait and see, and I'm not really buying a lot of Sorcery right now. I'm just chilling. But yeah, it's crazy. Pokemon 30 is going to go crazy. It's absolutely going to go crazy. Like, I'm going to be doing a, I don't know if any of you guys live in Northern Virginia or not, but I'll be doing a show called #Con next month. And I was just going through and pricing a lot of my, you know, singles and stuff that I wanted to take to the show, and like some unique stuff that I've got, and some boxes. Like, pulled out just a random Dark Sylveon collector box for celebrations. I had no idea that was a $200 freaking box. Like, I was pricing out all these singles. Even like I had a ton of I bought a ton of One Piece like Luffy cards like 2 years ago. Just bought them because I was like, I wanted to collect all the different One Piece Luffy styles, so all the alternate arts and stuff like that. And like, I was just pricing those out. It's like $100, $120, $80, $90. I was like, what the heck, man? I was buying these things for like 10-15 bucks. The TCG space is just unbelievable what has happened. And yeah, I don't know where to spend my money. But yeah, Gundam, I feel like, is a slept on, you know, it's a young game. And I think Gundam with time will prove to be not like One Piece size and spend, but I think it's got the potential to really appreciate on its sealed and singles still. There were some leaks on Twitter about the Naruto. Dragon Ball is doing fantastic too. Manga cards are in demand. You know, I've heard about Dragon Ball. I'll be honest with you, I don't know anything about Dragon Ball. I've never played it. I mean, I've watched. Come on, man. I'm a male. I watched the show. You know, tons of episodes, and you know, heard, you know, Goku grunting for 35 episodes straight before he did a power attack and stuff. But I've never actually bought the product. I mean, even Final Fantasy TCG is doing fine. I don't. The Grand Archive. I know a lot of people that play Grand Archive, but like, I don't know about its value. So, what are we looking at? Dragon Ball. Is it Dragon Ball Super Fusion World or Dragon Ball Super Masters? What's the difference between these? I won't be able to give any analysis on this. I mean, I can just look at charts, but I don't know anything about this product. Wow, that's a lot of sets. Those are Banga boosters. Let's pick a random set. Raging Roar. What are we looking at here? 24 booster packs, 12 random cards, 1 promotional code for the digital version of the pack. FB03. I mean, that's a pretty healthy 879 sold, 2 average day sold, current listing 92. Yeah, I mean, it's a much smaller market. It looks like just randomly grabbing one box here, but looks like it's a significantly smaller market than Gundam is. Like, sell-through rate's way lower. But I'm sure they've got, like, you know, I'm sure they don't print nearly as much of this product. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't know enough about it to really talk about it. Dude, should we even look at Pokemon? You know, I feel like there's 90,000 channels that talk about Pokemon. Like, that's not something that I probably need to worry about. Just buy Pokemon and sit on it for 5 years and then triple your money and sell it. There you go. My Pokemon advice for you. Freedom Ascension there. We got that. Gundam. What else? What else do we need to talk about? What else do we need to talk about? We talked about Gundam. Talked a little bit about Lorcana. If you really want to see how Lorcana's doing, I mean, I think everybody's really focused on. I'll give you my hot take on Lorcana. I think that all the PSA 10s are way overpriced. All right, I'll say that. I think that all PSA 10s in Lorcana are way overpriced. And the reason I say that is because if you think about it, all right, people don't grade card games that are like unpopular. So when Lorcana went through its like 2 years of struggling to get interest and demand, what happened is nobody was submitting these cards to grade. So if I click on this, right, we can see the pop reports. If you look at the pop reports, okay, there's 1600. This is a really old card, right? D100. Okay, never mind. Not really old, but D100. So 1600 graded, 26 pop report, and we'll go back over here. Let's find a more popular card. Mickey's pretty popular. Tinkerbell. I'm looking for like, I should probably just say Enchanted. And Hercules. Maybe this will be a good one. Shimmering Skies. This could be a good one. Okay. 194 PSA 10s, 342 total pop. Like, yeah, Riftbound is picking back up. Yeah, for sure. Slow and steady. The problem with Riftbound apparently is that they like keep reprinting. They keep reprinting and they keep reprinting, and it keeps crushing all the prices and value. All right, so here's the thing: is not very many people were submitting these cards to be graded because there wasn't a ton of value in them a while back. What you're going to see, and right now PSA is on like a whatever 15 million card backlog, and there's now a massive amount of euphoric interest in Lorcana. You're going to see these pop reports continue to just go up and up and up and up and up, and then the quantity of 10s go up and up and up and up and up. When all these people get their cards back from submitted grading over the next like freaking 8 to 12 months, because some of these are going to take a long time for them to get the cards back. And then as these go up, right, like as the populations go up, well, they become less and less scarce. And when they become less and less scarce, and there's plenty of them on the market and people can't sell them because the people that want them already own them, that's when the price starts to fall. And I feel like, man, I just wouldn't. There's sure people are going to make lots of money as they flip these quick. If they can get them graded quick and they can get them on the market, they can sell them quick. Like, I get it. I'm not arguing that. It's just not where I'm not going to go to this dance. You know what I mean? Because I feel like most people are probably going to get burned. And I do feel like the PSA pops on these are going to like double and triple over the next year or two once PSA gets caught back up. So I'm very hesitant about in this market. Not only that, but like, let's be quite honest, like Lorcana shouldn't be seeing 10, 20, 30x multiples of a PSA 10 over a raw card. Like, it just shouldn't be happening. It's very weird what's going on in this market. And like when I don't trust something, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't go with it. So that's why I'm focused mostly on the sealed product of Lorcana. I'm not chasing these slabs. Let these slabs do what they do. Let them bring up the raw prices and all that stuff, and like ultimately brings up the sealed prices too. But man, that's like the micro cap oil, oil stocks or something, or tech stocks. I don't want anything to do with that right now. Warrior Mickey from Arcadia's Island is a pop 40, I believe. Warrior Mickey, let me go. I thought I saw one somewhere. I was browsing through pretty quick, but I thought I saw one on the screen. See if we can just find it. Is that him right here? Inspirational? Oh, this is a PSA 9, isn't it? Oh, my bad. here's our PSA 9. Here he is in PSA 9s. I would imagine Mickey has like, my guess would be that Mickey has the most PSA 10s. Just a 9? Maybe there's not many 10s. I can't even see the pop report on that. Wonder why so few were graded. That's interesting. I don't see any more. Oh wait, here we go. What do we got here? PSA 9 again. Yeah. There's 9 10s, 9 11 9s. Yeah, there's just not much pop, but I mean, again, like you could take a gamble and, you know, make offers and try to buy some of these things and stuff, but I would say you're probably better off not gambling on the slabs, because the market, I really think that the market's gonna pop up a lot, and it's just a legendary. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I can be wrong. I don't want to sound like I know exactly what's gonna happen with the freaking slab market, but that's just so volatile up and down. Like, and I feel like we had our massive boom, and that there's gonna be a little bit of a correction period for like the next, you know, 4 or 5 months. We'll get through there. But there's plenty to get. And you said it was Fusion World is top. Okay, go check that out. Fusion World. And so what is going on here? Let's see. Cards? Hello? Cards? There we go. CR, LR, ER. Secret rare? Is that what that is? CR super secret? Damn, dude. That is badass. Yeah. I mean, these cards are pretty sick. That's cool. Yeah, I can see why if you're a collector of this, you would like, I mean, these are some pretty awesome action poses and such. That's pretty cool. Nice. Yeah. That's really cool. I mean, that's pretty cool shit. That's sweet. Yeah, these are pretty nice. These are pretty nice. Do you know if the card quality, it looks like they're kind of like, you know, that same kind of card quality as all like these Japanese style games? Is it like One Piece, like the thicker card stock with like the etched and engraved like style foiling? That's one thing I really like about the Bandai card game foils, is just that they're so clean. Oh, that's really cool. Frieza. That's nice. Yeah. All right, yeah, I can see the appeal. I can see the appeal in chasing that stuff. Is it like, do people really play the game, or do they just chase the artwork? You know what I mean? I don't know. All right, I don't know if I have much more to ramble about, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you guys hopping into this live stream. I normally make like little 15-minute videos where I just go through the markets of the game that I'm talking about. A lot of crazy. There's just a lot of good stuff coming up, man. I'm sure there's probably like no wrong place to put your money, and all these amazing products coming out. Probably doesn't matter. You could probably just close your eyes and pick one and still do okay long term. But I do kind of want like a little exposure to all the cool stuff coming out right now. It's just some really fun stuff. And like, I just picked up the Marvel Superheroes Magic the Gathering collector box and play booster box. I just got one of each of those recently, so it's like crazy because like, oh, that's like, you know, $700. It's just stupid for one product. And like, you have like 6 TCGs just constantly churning out set after set after set after set, and like supplement product. It's really hard to keep up in the TCG space because like, I don't know, maybe I'm an addict, but like I want all of this stuff. It's crazy stuff. It's a lot of fun though. All right, boys, appreciate you guys. This is Case Hits Collectibles. Again, if you're in Northern Virginia, I will be vending a live show, trying to bring a big like mix of Pokemon, One Piece, Gundam, Flesh and Blood, Magic the Gathering. What else are we gonna have there? Lorcana, obviously. Yeah, sealed singles. Not many slabs. I'm doing mostly raw cards, but yeah. Anyway, thank you so much. Have a wonderful, fantastic rest of your evening. If you're up or going to bed like I am, I'm gonna try to go to bed. I'm not tired at all, but I don't want to keep rambling. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys hopefully on the next video. See you later.